Groove City.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lefty.
And I'm Rich Furniss, and welcome to another episode of Groove City.
Yes, we are very excited to bring another Northeast local, a good friend of ours, working right here with us at Sound Collective. Very talented DJ, producer, graphic artist. Please welcome the man, Nog.
Hello.
What is up?
Happy to be here.
Thank you very much.
You're so chill after such an epic intro, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I was trying to hype it up really hard.
You did a great job. You missed a couple things.
Yeah, tell us. What did I miss?
Photo, video.
Oh, I didn't
great
know that.
guy.
I didn't
really
know you did
sweet
photo
human
video.
being, you know, stuff like that.
He is a very sweet human being.
Not bad on the eyes. I'm gonna say.
Not great either. But,
Somebody call HR. No. That's cool. Photo and video guy too, huh?
Yeah, that's how all this kind of started.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, everything that's happened in that path has kind of led one thing to another and ended at music somehow.
No kidding.
So take us through these oranges.
Let's hear the
then.
journey.
Sure.
So where you from originally?
Jersey,
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Which part?
I'm so sorry.
Bergen County, all the way up
Bergen
north.
County,
Yeah.
all the way up
Actually, I
north.
have a lot of friends from Bergen.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I don't know why. But it's close to here. We basically say we're from New York. It's like 30 minutes away. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much here. It's a borough.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not.
It is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's cool. So born and raised in New Jersey.
And
And what got you into photo and video, and when did you start doing that stuff?
to be honest, I was a big Spider-Man fan when I was younger, and Peter Parker's a photographer. So I'm like, whoa,
Interesting.
this stuff seems kind of cool.
Did you start shooting on film?
No, sadly. I started shooting on a Canon T5i though, like
Okay.
lowest level.
That was the first camera I brought my brother, actually.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people start there and
Yeah.
it just like escalates from there.
Were you trying to shoot for like a newspaper?
No, because in Jersey there's not really any, in my town,
Are
there's
there
no
still
newspapers. No.
I guess so, yeah.
I tried to get into like photojournalism stuff. It didn't really work out too well.
Okay,
but
so you did essentially the same thing.
yeah.
So you
pretty
tried to
much.
follow the Peter Parker path.
Yeah, so that's how that started, and then I got into like video and then VFX and doing like CGI stuff eventually, and like 3D animations, modeling, stuff like that. And
Yeah,
then
you're a
music
beast,
kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. It's just like everything visual and sound related all connects to each other, the knowledge at least. So like
Facts.
knowing about like photo, video helps
Yeah.
music.
Well, I
and
always say
vice
like
versa.
if you know like Adobe or something,
Yeah.
you're pretty much working in a different DAW, right?
Exactly,
And it kind of
yeah.
correlates really well. Like, and I will admittedly say, and I'm kind of started both at the same time, I guess, but I feel like I work on music almost like a video editor. Or at least I started to with like how I chop things up and
Yeah.
put clips and stuff together.
Yeah, I always thought of it as a puzzle. And any DAW or like
Facts.
software you're doing, it's all a puzzle, literally putting everything in the right place. But
I could see that.
Yeah.
And now that everything's so like colorized, it just kind of it's like
Exactly.
building Lego blocks in a DAW.
Yeah, it is.
it is all the same layout. Like a Premiere timeline is an Ableton timeline just without a screen, literally. It's the same thing. But yeah, all that knowledge kind of feeds into each other really well, which I didn't expect, to be honest, and it's a very pleasant surprise, but
Yeah.
it made everything easier in the long run.
What was young Peter Parker? I mean Nog. Listening to.
I was just gonna ask almost the identical question the same exact way.
What was I listening to?
Yeah.
like when
in your
like early on though.
Like,
Your Peter
where's
Parker
your-
era.
Yeah, where's your music origins? I mean, for most people, it doesn't usually start in dance music. Kind of starts from their family.
Well,
and all that.
my dad really liked Moby a lot, and
Okay.
he showed me a lot of Moby songs.
That's
That was
dope.
like the
Cool.
first like electronic music I really listened to.
Sick.
Besides that, I listened to a lot of classical music, to be honest,
Nice.
and like
I
jazz and like
absolutely
samba.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's still,
That
that's
makes a lot
still
of
most
sense.
of what I listen to is like kind of not really electronic music. I like to find like inspiration from other stuff, to be honest, because it's also.
I hear that in a lot of your productions that I've heard
Thanks.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
same.
trying to push that through. Appreciate
It's
it.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I like it. You always have this like twist of like another sound that's like a kind of a different genre,
Yeah.
different instrument.
Yeah.
Sounds a
Yeah.
lot.
I'm glad you noticed. Yeah. that makes
Yeah,
me
man, of
happy.
course. I pay attention.
Great.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's what I started with pretty much. Yeah.
Well, how did it evolve into electronic then?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Natural
Oh, I
progression.
mean, yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint what happened or like when exactly it happened.
Part of growing up so close to New York City and just going out to nightlife, which is very club oriented.
I think it might have been that subconsciously at first, because at first when I used to go out in like high school, we'd like take the bus to the city and like go to some places.
Fake ID style.
We used to take the bus to go places. And
It's okay, you can say it. I had a fake ID.
yeah, I had a couple, to be honest. Yeah, I had 5 or 6.
Oh,
fly
damn.
Tell me you
by.
had one that was Peter Parker.
Yeah, I mean,
That would have been a met.
that would've been
Yeah.
amazing.
Tie it in. Tie it in.
But yeah, I think it was subconscious because when I was going out at that age, I wasn't really listening to the music like most people. You know what I mean? I'm just like at a club essentially. But as I got older and when I went out, I started like actually like actively listening to stuff and like going to events that were music focused.
Yeah. Well, now you can't
And
turn
then-
that off either. Once you turn the
No,
active listening
horrible,
on,
horrible,
it's over.
terrible, terrible feeling to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I went out recently for the first time in a long time to just go out and experience music without critical
This is the
listening.
glitter box party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to go out. I want to dance. I want to not have to think about all the little scuffs of the DJ and reading the room. None of that shit. I just want to go have my own experience and just really connect and like be in the crowd right in the middle, front and center of the club and like really feel it. It's been forever, man. And I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
made me really reconnect with like why I got excited about,
Yeah.
you know, going beyond that to begin with.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean,
No.
I think I experienced the same thing when I first started like DJing and stuff. I didn't really go out for like 8 months maybe, and I was doing 8 months of straight production and only me DJing that I was seeing, and I was starting to hit a plateau because I'm like, what do I do now? You know what I mean? I was getting a little lost,
Yeah.
and then once I started going out again, I'm like, oh, this is why I'm doing it, and like taking inspiration from
I
other.
think that's
other
crucial.
People, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's crucial to go out when you're not spinning so that you get that inspiration
Yeah.
again. I go through patches, I feel like, you know, like throughout my whole career where it's been like, okay, I only go to my own shows or, you know, whatever, or I don't go out for a little while. But there's that magical moment. I think sometimes too, even when I'm like down about what I'm doing or like questioning what I'm doing, going out to a really good party instantly is like, this is why I love this. This is why it's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
When it's good, it hits and like be a cool transition idea. You're like, oh, take that back with you.
Yeah, facts.
Remember this. Aside from all that alcohol you drank tonight, see if you can bring this home.
Only water, baby.
It's like
Yeah.
market research at the same time. You know,
It
to
is
see
totally,
what works
yeah.
Also,
Shazamming
you know?
some records
Yeah.
and stuff
Tax
like
write-off.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure,
My
dude.
ticket to Mirage, the tax write-off. Yeah.
Research and development. 1,000,000%.
Totally.
That's cool. So you kind of started. At what point did you start producing? Did you start DJing first, or were you producing first?
So I started. I did like very light, like beat production in high school for like maybe a year. I had like Live 9 Light or something like that.
Okay.
And I was just messing around, nothing crazy really. And I kind of.
What kind of beats?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, genreless, rhythmless beats, just noise pretty much.
That's cool.
But then 2 years ago, I got back into nightlife and I started hosting at this place called Heaven Can Wait, which used to be called East Berlin.
Yep.
Used to be called Lola way back. I hosted there for probably 8 months every Friday, and then I was just around DJs every Friday, and I'm like, whoa, this looks easy. And I already had like, and it is to a certain extent.
Easy to learn, hard to master.
Exactly,
Remember that.
exactly.
Easy,
Yeah,
easy
sorry.
to learn,
Yes.
hard to master.
The technical side on a beginner to intermediate level is not too complicated.
Yeah,
But to really
yeah.
take it beyond that.
I think it's
requires
easy
more
because I already had a foundation of like music theory and like just general knowledge of like structure of music too. That's why I'm saying it's easy. It's not easy, you know. But after that, I just started like looking at YouTube videos pretty much for like a week, and then a week after I made that decision, I played my first gig at that place that I was hosting.
How'd it go?
Went amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I did throw up before
Oh, nice.
a
All
little
right.
bit, but
Little Slim
Anxiety.
Shady eyes,
Yeah,
8 Mile
right?
vibes going on,
Nice.
all right.
but no, it was necessary to be honest.
Well, actually, I also wanted to talk about your hosting and like promoting
Mhm.
side of what you do, which is also another big part of your nightlife
yeah,
involvement.
yeah, not so much anymore, but yeah, totally.
Yeah. How did you get into hosting for this club randomly? Because did you have a
It's
contact
just
there
so
already?
popular.
No, how
Yeah. I mean, you got to bring a lot of people out, and
Yeah.
you know, just being here and growing up, coming to the city a lot. Like, how does that?
yeah.
How did you get into that? Just for somebody who might be interested.
So the first place I started hosting, and pretty much the only place I hosted consistently, was that place, and it was from my friend Sam, which I met at my freshman year at college at Parsons.
Okay.
He and I used to go to that club like every week, probably our freshman year, and then it closed during COVID for a year, obviously. Started back up, it wasn't doing crazy well, and he went to them and said like, listen, I came here for like a year, we had a great time, and like we're sad to see that you're not doing so well. So we just like tried to
I love that.
revitalize it, essentially. Yeah.
That's cool. And they were like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, who's gonna say no to that? Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
right? Were you living in the city while you were going to Parsons?
Yeah, I was living in I first moved to Stuytown when I first moved here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah,
once.
Stuytown, and then 13th Street, and then Orchard Street. Yeah, all LES,
Oh,
East Village
nice.
stuff.
Very
Yeah.
cool. And then, did you ever end up doing any promoting or hosting anywhere else, or that was it?
Not really. I never wanted to be like a a promoter that someone hires, you know what I mean? If I was gonna promote something, I want it to be like my own.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really feel passionate enough about promoting to do it for other people, if that makes sense. Like, I needed to have some sort of reason behind it aside from like
your own event.
Yeah, it has to be something cool also. I don't want to just like promote like a bottle club, you know? I don't want to be that guy type thing, but yeah.
Good decision.
Yeah, right.
So when you started, you know, hosting and then got into your first gig there, what was the style of music? Was it already just house and like
it
tech
was
house
like
from the
super tech house, like fratty tech house, you know, like high energy, like really like synth heavy, bass heavy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty all over the place though, to be honest. It wasn't really that consistent or coherent of a set.
Yeah.
I'll say it was just like, I think my roommate gave me like his USB and just said like, take some stuff from here. And then I took
Often
whatever
how it
the hell I
starts.
saw. Yeah,
Facts.
I saw interesting album art and I'm like, all right, I'll take
Oh,
that
that's
one.
cool.
Yeah, man, when your DJ friends like lace you up with records, like, yo, these records are cool, take these out and put them in your sets. You just trust, you know,
I'll
when
take
you have
it,
that
yeah.
person
I
that
mean,
you
it
trust.
worked out, yeah. No, my roommate was DJing for like a year probably at that point before me, just like for like fun.
Yeah.
And then he just gave me some stuff and it worked out. But then after my first set, I really started to like dig and like find what I wanted to play. It took probably like 3 or 4 months after I started to where I got to the point where like I'm enjoying what I'm playing completely. And I'm still like, people are still having fun at the same time, you know? That balance was really hard to find, to be honest, but it's there almost now, I think, yeah.
Cool. So after you started producing, how long was it until you
Probably like a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty
What the hell?
pretty stupid of me, to be
Get
honest.
out of here, bro.
It wasn't great, obviously. I had like
You got some heaters on SoundCloud. You got some high numbers
that's
up there.
Definitely.
that's what's still up on SoundCloud. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got a nasty heater out on Quincy Boy Records.
I do.
Just saying.
It's called Wizard.
It
by
is
the
called
way.
Wizard. It's a banger. Wow, that's amazing. What label did you first release on?
None. Quincy was my first.
That was your first release?
Yeah. First label release.
First
yeah.
label release.
Yeah.
Let it be known now, 10 years from this man is main stage and first release Quincy Boy, baby.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Everything else was independent. And just like
That wasn't your first release. You didn't just start DJing 2 months or producing 2 months ago.
No. Hell no. I wish that would be a crazy story.
Dude, my mind was blown for a second. Yeah.
No, I'm probably like
So you started self-releasing like edits or fully finished like original compositions?
edits. The first like 5 things I released, I think, were edits.
Okay.
I feel like that's like, for anybody who's trying to start producing, I feel like
please
that's
do
the
that.
most natural way to do it.
Yeah. Of
course.
Everybody always comes in like, I'm going to make this song. I'm like,
No offense, no one cares really at first.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, too, I feel like doing an edit into something and working with something else gives you the idea, it gives you bones to work with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people who come to it, especially from a DJ side, they hear something like, oh, I wish like this was different or this piece was there. You can kind of start getting that creativity. And you're also able to get a product out a lot faster, so you get that gratification and make you want to keep pushing on.
Agreed.
Yeah, limited production involvement. You know, you can just like tweak a song that's already fully produced and maybe add a couple things and like massage the flow so that it works in your DJ sets, and then you think other DJs are going to want this. And out and they come up to you and say, what is that at? I'd be like, it's my own exclusive.
Unreleased, sorry.
I'm going to drop on my SoundCloud free download gate. Watch out.
I mean, edits are definitely a good place to start, I think. I don't think I would have gone anywhere without them.
What were your first edits?
My first one that I released was J. Cole, GOMD, Get Off My, you know.
What is it, Arnag?
I don't know. It might be in this room. I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
But that blew up, actually. And now it's been taken down. It got taken down like 4 months ago. But it was at like 220K streams on SoundCloud. And it's dissolved now, though, sadly. I re-uploaded it. It's going back up. But
How long ago was that?
it got how long I re-uploaded?
Yeah.
Like 2 months.
No, when it first went up.
Oh, when it first went up?
It's like 2 years ago?
No, like
Less
8
than that?
months, something like that.
Bro,
I think I'm like a year into production, just about.
that's insane.
Thanks, man.
And 220K streams in the last like 3 years on SoundCloud. Numbers.
No, yeah, I got lucky, to be honest. The algorithm picked
That's
it up.
like 2016 numbers, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean,
Amazing.
it's sad to see it go. It was a devastating day, to be honest.
I know. Why do you think that they took it down eventually?
I have no clue.
Did you click that monetize button thinking,
No.
I got this far as soon as you get that little inch of greed?
People said they tried to do it after a song was already like well established and it got taken down, so I didn't even think of doing that.
You can't do it.
But it's just kind of out of nowhere. I don't know. Terrifying day though. And
Most of my strikes on SoundCloud though happen like many months, if not a year after.
Really?
I've
Really?
uploaded it.
It's
Yeah.
never happened. Usually it's like right away.
No, my old Mop Top project, I was all remixes and edits. So it was like mostly or a lot of, and like I started getting strikes just like randomly, and it was like those songs have been up forever. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
That's because some guy from Chicago started working at SoundCloud. I was like, oh man, you guys got to check out this DJ Mop Top. And they're like, sick. Yo, he's got all this illegal music. Take him down. Take him down. Dude, that's incredible. I had no idea it was that recent that you started doing it.
Yeah.
How did you ramp up to learning so quickly? Was it just using the video software that really kind of like leaped you into it faster, do you think?
I think
or?
that helped with like the DAW side of it, like the actual like operating the DAW side of it.
language.
Yeah. Like shortcuts and everything. I'm just used to like doing things quicker in certain
Yeah,
ways.
you're nasty
you know what I mean?
editor.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We're here to lift
we
you up.
try.
Nog.
We try. I feel up. Don't worry. I don't know. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, obviously, like everyone
Okay,
does
yeah.
at
So
this- at
YouTube,
this space.
tutorials.
That and just like heavy, like obsessive active listening to stuff that I like a stupid amount, like probably 50 times over and over, just to like hear like really small things, even though they might not be there, to be honest. Like I feel like a lot of producers will not intentionally do something, but
It's
people
what's
that
implied.
listening, yeah, you just
Different
notice it on
perspective,
the outside.
man.
Exactly, yeah.
I always like will work on something all day and then like put on like one earbud while I'm cooking dinner and listen more casually and be like, fuck, I gotta go back.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
exactly.
let me lower the heat on the stove. I gotta run and change something
Yeah.
real quick and
Yeah.
bounce it down and put it back up on my SoundCloud.
is
and
real.
listen to it later.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. All the time, my wife. Anything else? I'm like, I do, but when I'm here after I'm working on something, I'm listening to the song I was just working on.
Yeah. You need that casual listening session though, because when you're in
Dude.
the session, you're just hyper focused.
Hyper-focused.
Like things like I'll just start like only focusing on the hi-hat for a moment. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then it's like you forget everything else in the mix. You
Yeah.
know? I had one of those
Sometimes-
moments last night.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes I'll be listening to something and I'll be like, did that sound just cut out? And I just tuned it out so hard focusing on something else. that,
Yeah.
like, you just don't hear something for a second. I was
Yeah.
like, it freaks me out
No,
sometimes.
it's a weird feeling, to be honest. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're a different person when you're producing, and then so like a consumer listening to it. It's very weird to hear, you know.
It is, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, it's totally, or even like when you hear it in like a club environment, like sometimes I'll
That's
like
the
work on something, I'll do all the post session listening, I'll get it mastered or
Yeah.
master it myself, and then
yeah.
get it released, and then not until I play it out in the club that I'm like, oh shit, it sounds
I
different.
mean, even stuff like that, I like forget to like EQ the low out of a vocal, and I play it out. I'm like, holy hell, this is horrible. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The
Sound
small
system,
oversights.
check all of your stuff before you
Yeah.
put it out.
If you can,
If you
which is
can,
the thing.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can't, then Sonar works. Please
Yeah,
get
so-
Sound ID reference. Like,
Well, I mean, I feel like the club test though is the ultimate because I have a handful of records that you guys have heard that I've been working on, and honestly, the one that I thought was like the killer, I'm like, this is the single right here.
Yeah.
Played in the club, kind of fell flat, and then one that like I got a lot of like weird feedback from people, and like I was kind of iffy about, smacked the club. You know what I mean?
Huh. So
I got the club calling me right now.
yeah, they said, Ricky, that mix you played last night was rough, dog. No. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I've definitely not even just like the sonics of a song, but the way like a song feels.
exactly.
Feels. It's
yeah.
the feeling,
It's the
honestly.
more
The
important
feeling,
yeah,
test. Is yeah.
Like you work on something, and it's not until you mix it into something else. Like another really good thing that somebody suggested to me one time. They're like, "Have you tried mixing it into another song? Like, I feel like it's too busy with the percussion or this and that." And I was just like,
You know who taught me that was you.
because I learned from somebody else.
Yeah.
Who taught
for
you that?
That's top secret information.
Oh, fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, a lot of the stuff, my early stuff that I put out into the Rich Furniss project, you're like, yo, you got to fix the intro, you got to build it out this, and you kept hammering that in, and I, of course I'm stubborn, I didn't listen, and then it was when I started mixing stuff into my own DJ sets that I was like, yo, and I make sure that at some point in the night I play every single song that I'm working on, so I can see how that works, and like. You know, if you're playing a long enough set, like something that's over an hour, you know, like a three-hour set or whatever, you can usually like sneak them in somewhere. And like I try to just for that purpose of like, how does this mix in? Because I think too of other people's records that I have, and I'm like, I won't play this because I know it's tough to mix in. Why am I gonna struggle a train wreck for it? I'm sure other DJs feel the same way.
Yeah, when you start to really think about production that way, and it's just like it really simplifies everything. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of the pressure off. Like, oh, I got to make the intro like all this crazy stuff, and then he's like, wait a minute,
No, you don't.
just gotta let it flow from the
Not
last
really.
song.
Yeah.
The extended anyway, and then like, I mean, I like to cut the extended first, and then cut the.
Me too.
radio
Yeah,
edit
that's a
after.
mistake I made a lot. Is I usually just go straight to radio, and then I have to like reproduce. And
Yeah.
then it's
I was
hard
that way
to,
for a long time.
It's a tough thing to say though, because like depending on the labels you're pitching to, you don't know what they want. Because some labels are like, oh yeah, we only want the. They don't care as much about the radio.
Europe
Yeah.
versus the US.
Europe versus the US,
Literally,
100%. Yeah, the UK and European labels really.
They want that long
want the long-
especially the UK, I feel like, especially with minimal stuff.
If it's not,
too, they
if it's
want
not,
like
if
7
it's
minute
shorter, yeah, I was gonna
songs,
say, if
like,
it's shorter than 7 minutes, nah.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then here they're like, they want to see, play.
Yeah.
They care more about
Yeah.
that stuff.
I mean,
Also, I feel like making that extended edit first, the extended version first, almost like, I don't know, I'm like task oriented, right? I want to see things get done. So for me to be like, all right, cool, I have this much built out of the song, it feels good, and it makes me want to keep working on the song more.
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from because it's not worth continuing if you build out a whole thing and you're not really feeling it that much. And then you're like, I made a 6-minute song for what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, being, yeah.
Oh no, finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you something. Who was the last DJ that you saw that gave you that inspiration we were talking about?
Oof.
That you went out and it doesn't have to be anybody crazy, but you just went to an event.
Yeah.
Oh damn, that was a really good takeaway.
Well, recently I saw I Hate Models.
Oh yeah.
And before him, I saw Hector Oaks that night. Hector Oaks is nuts, dude. Insane. I don't know why I've never heard of him. He's huge apparently, but he plays like hard groove, techno, like psytrance, stuff like that. And I don't know why that's impacting me as a house producer.
Yeah.
But it like the way he mixes and just like the energy fluctuation in his set was so like well thought out, and it was like just like a wave, you know what I mean? Which I love. Like,
That's what I
hate when
appreciate the most.
Yeah.
Any DJ that can take you on a journey, like, so for me, Kerry Chandler is probably my favorite. And like seeing his set in the same way, like he'll take you down this valley where you're just vibing, and then you'll come up, and then so out of nowhere you might drop, but he makes it work, and then he'll boost you back up out of nowhere, and taking that journey.
Yeah.
And that's like what we're talking about. Learning to DJ is easy, mastering is hard, because to be able to do something like that where you're playing with people's emotion and the energy level, but still making it work and keeping people grooving is really like the testament to
also,
like making.
people need a break also when you're out. Like, I don't want to hear banger, 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 banger. You know what I mean? Like, I like to hear a little valley, like you said. It helps.
Which is what I think one of the number one things when you talk about like local DJs and people who don't have as much experience or haven't played as many rooms, a lot of people are just so excited to play the room that they're just like, I'm gonna play the craziest stuff I have or whatever, like for this hour set. But it's like, that's cool. Anybody can do that. You know what I mean? To be able to like play a set that even in an hour that can take people up and down. And why I still always feel like the opening set is my favorite set to play. Like I don't feel bad about it.
It's the hardest, but if it works, it's the best.
It's the best payoff, because if you're able to start from zero and get people up there and then take them back down to lead them into somebody else and all that, like the opening set is the most fun set to play. You heard it first, Rich Furniss.
I would disagree before, but now I agree. At first, when I would be opening, I'd be like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I playing to nobody, essentially, for like an hour and then an hour of like some people?
Yeah.
But once you like realize that that's probably the best position to be in, and you have the most freedom at that point to do what you want, and like
That's also true.
you're setting the vibe, you know what I mean? It's a lot of responsibility also at the same time, which I like.
The vibe.
To be honest, the pressure of it, it feels good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you really nail it, man, it's definitely a good time. You know, you definitely, it's very rewarding when you can like properly warm up a room and get the energy level set and like crush that. Because by the end of your warm up set, you know, you can get people in a really good place that they'll really appreciate and be like, yeah, that guy killed it. Like, if you can get people dancing right away without having to get
that Lefty
sober.
set at Superior Ingredients, where I think you opened up for Disco Dom.
Oh yeah.
That was like, bro, that room, you like set that room from 0 to 100, and that was like one of my favorite sets of yours, first off.
Thank you.
And like the energy in there was dope, and you really like set a cool like foreground for what was about to happen. I appreciate and a set like that, you know.
Thanks, man.
I wish I was there.
I got some good remarks from Don Bresky from that one too. So really good.
That's another thing. If you play a really good opening set, the person after you and whoever's headlining is gonna notice. I feel like, and they like.
Dude, the promoters noticed, and I got like 9 more gigs from them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that was amazing thing for me. What do you got coming up for releases? Anything scheduled right now? I know you're working on a lot of music.
I have probably like 10 things that I want to release. I have one release locked in on January 26th with Midtown House. It's my friend's label. Aside from that, I'm just waiting for the right home for a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And I do want to do some independent stuff. I don't want to rely solely on label releases at the same time, but I'm trying to release in a strategic way because I have a lot of stuff that's super high energy and like really like Jack and House type stuff. And I have a lot of like really minimal like synth, like groovy stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do and what like progression I want to make essentially for my music because I don't want to go like up, down, up, down, up, down too much. You know what I mean? And like confuse the masses essentially. So yeah, once that's figured out, then everything's going up. But
You know, I used to fear that, like confusing
People don't care.
They don't care.
yeah,
People don't care.
They're gonna like the songs they like.
Look, I mean, like, and you know, maybe I'm not the best example, but like my releases are like, I have like a super chill summery song
Yeah.
and then a tech house song and then like a disco track. And it's like
Yeah.
people's attention spans are too short. And I agree that you need to keep the branding, but I think the branding doesn't necessarily come from the style of the song. It comes from your signature production. You know, the Rich Furniss piano. I'm saying that's there.
You need a
And,
patch. on
where
the
can I
set.
get
yeah,
one?
the M1 all day.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And you know, I think you can create it. I think you can create it from that. And even if you look at like bigger touring DJs, right? It's like look at what Dom Doll has put out in the last in his
very
last
true.
couple of releases.
Yeah.
They've
John
been
Summit even,
wildly
all over the place.
John Summit
Yeah.
wildly all over the place with his
Yeah.
releases. I think it's good music, and people will recognize your signature production style and how you structure
just
songs
within
and all
that.
that.
Yeah, that
I think
makes
that's the
sense.
most important piece, for at least for me.
Any memorable gigs that you've played
Ugh.
that you want to mention?
A lot were so good they were unmemorable, if you know what I mean. But in the earlier days, I used to black out a little bit before I played. But
Nice.
I kind of had to because I was super nervous during my early gigs. So I was
Yeah.
just like, you know, need to take the edge off. But I think my favorite show that I've played was probably New Year's at Superior last year.
Oh, yeah, you
in
were
my
telling me
top
about
five. That was fantastic. Crazy sound in there.
Yeah.
The roof at Superior this past summer was fantastic also.
Who'd you play there with?
It was for Sam Blackie support.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
and Local Singles I think was on there too. Yeah.
Dude, sick.
A lot of the other stuff has just been like intimate stuff with like 100 people that I like barely remember, but I know for a fact it was fun. But
Yeah. There's
just from
photo
like
evidence of
videos,
it, you're
yeah,
smiling.
exactly, yeah.
Very cool.
But I don't know, intimate stuff has always been the more bread and butter stuff for me. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's more fun, you know. It's less pressure also.
Well, we're very excited to hear your mix.
Make sure you all check that out in the link below. It should be in this playlist. Got the official 30-minute mix.
That's right. Coming from a horror movie somewhere around the corner. Any songs that you're particularly going to play that you're excited about in your mix, or should
Yeah.
we just kind of go for it? What you got in
I
there?
probably have like 8 IDs that I'm gonna play. So it's
Woo!
like every 2 songs.
Really excited to
Hit 'em,
hear
baby,
them.
hit 'em.
Yeah.
Very excited to
Exciting.
hear them. Dope.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
you.
today. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on your socials?
My Instagram is Nog is my name, and my SoundCloud is Nog, and Spotify Nog, and everywhere else Nog, pretty much.
N-O-G.
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 Capital N. The rest are not capital. So
All right, noted.
yeah.
Noted.
There's a guy in Brazil, capital N-O-G.
Oh, okay. So watch out. Not the
me.
Brazilian
Not
version.
me. I'm Armenian, by the way. Yeah.
There we go. Almost like Brazilian. I'm just kidding.
Pretty much.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we're looking forward to your set.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bam. I'm Rich Furniss.
And I'm Lefty. Peace.